The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
We're gonna have some fun.
Alright, welcome back to some more Heat. Okay, side note before we get started, bro, Dispatch, easily game of the year, like straight up 1000%, like no contest. But today's video is going to be insane because I committed at least 15 different war crimes. I'm joking. Obviously. The last thing I need is Argus pulling up on me and Rick Flag Sr. trying to send me to salvation. But anyway, I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen it, but around a year and a half ago, I made a video where I became Green Arrow in real life. Essentially, where I tried to do all of his training exercises and some crazy trick shots just like Green Arrow. But for you longtime channel veterans, I'm sure you and I are fully aware that since then, the hierarchy of power in the Just Met the Cinematic Universe has changed. And after reading loads of comments requesting that I make them and sitting in my brand new C7M ergonomic chair by FlexiSpot watching loads of Green Arrow media, I thought it was time I did something even crazier than before. What if I took these super basic arrows and applied some pretty crazy scientific modifications to them to make them some of the most lethal arrows the world has ever seen? That's right, today I'm going to do something never done before and make Green Arrow's most lethal trick arrows. Even making an arrow using C4. Now, C4 isn't hard to make. All you need to do is just go through a pretty timeless synthesis process to create RDX, which is also known as psychotrimethylene trinitramine. And all you just need is some hexamine, some fumic nitric acid, do some cool science stuff for a while, and then once you have a nice crystal-like white powder, just add a plasticizer. Get a primary explosive, set it off, and then boom. We just made a military-grade high explosive. But we'll come back to that one later. Now, you might be wondering how we got to this point. Well, I was more than fully aware there are like dozens of different types of trick arrows. But instead of just sitting there for like 3 hours and trying to make all of them in one video, I thought, hey, why not we just split this up and turn this into like a little mini series? So yeah, we're starting with episode 1, making the most lethal trick arrows. And hopefully I could become the best version of Green Arrow, the absolute GOAT, absolute Green Arrow. Okay, maybe not that one. No, I created a list consisting of some of the most craziest arrows I could think of. But before we get to the arrow that undisputably earns the title of f***ing kill henchmen and send them to hell never to see their family again arrow, let's start off with the friendlier arrow, starting with the basic non-lethal arrow. And if you guys would like to recommend ideas for future videos, consider joining my Discord, because that's actually the place where I initially asked what type of trick arrows I should make. Now, this one was mainly inspired by the cartoons like Justice League Unlimited and Batman Brave and the Bold, because unlike how a normal arrow operates, having a really sharp end that completely impales you, this normal arrow is just shaped like a basic cylinder. So rather than you being completely impaled, you'll just feel the might of what feels like 30 big black guys punching you all at the same time. And the best part is you won't die. Maybe just suffer from, I don't know, some internal bleeding and organ failure, but at least you're not dead. Now, I had to 3D print some of these parts, so I got my hands on a Bamboo Lab P1S, which is absolutely amazing, by the way, and began 3D modeling some of these things in Blender. Now, if you ever wanted a reason to jump off a cliff, yeah, take up 3D modeling, because this stuff could become timely and quite infuriating. And doing this stuff with these basic desk chairs could become quite taxing on your back. But thankfully, I was able to do this comfortably with my new C7M ergonomic chair sent to me by today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. Now, as someone who spends loads of hours editing their own videos, animating, and doing their own stunts, sitting for long periods of time can become quite the challenge. But with this chair, you can say goodbye to the days of having to sit on those old, crummy, anatomically paradoxical, basic office chairs and upgrade to something that suits all of your needs. So FlexiSpot sent me one of their chairs in the mail, and after a quite simple and straightforward building process, I gotta say, the hierarchy of sitting in chairs is about to change, because the new C7M chair is here to solve all your problems. Coming with many unique features like a 3D adjustable headrest that can be tilted and fitted to your ideal angles for working, a backrest that you can modify to your desired height, and lumbar support, unlike this chair burning right behind me. And trust me, I definitely need extra lumbar support after this video. And it also includes adjustable seat depth, a phenomenal latex seat cushion with memory foam, and a 5D armrest to fit all your typing and gaming needs. And on the more fun side, it includes features that are straight up a no-brainer for me, like having a recline feature and a footrest. Because why should you have to sit in a super boring chair that makes you as stale as a Roblox character sitting down. Because trust me, this chair can support any position you could possibly think of. And the best part is it comes with a 30-day return policy and a 10-year warranty. And with it being November now, you already know that Black Friday is right around the corner. And FlexiSpot's gonna be having a fire sale with some of their items being up to 60% off. So go pick yourself up one of FlexiSpot's many amazing chairs for many flexible prices. So go hit that link down in the description and use code JM30 for up to $30 off your purchase. And thanks to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Okay, so after about 40 minutes or so, the non-lethal arrow was ready for testing. But I needed to see how non-lethal it was. So I needed to find a test subject to try it on.
So our first subject today, if we're gonna test if it's non-lethal, is gonna be my assistant here. We're gonna shoot him with this. I'm joking.
I'm just kidding, guys. We're gonna shoot it at this empty gallon jug over here.
Call me Justice League Unlimited. All right, make sure the framing's solid. Ready? All right. Bro, wait, this was supposed to be non-lethal. Yo, look, it actually, that was a great first shot though. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was.
Okay, so what surprised me is that for a non-lethal arrow, it did actually manage to penetrate the jug. But you know, I'm sure on a human body, it's gonna be completely fine. Okay, so that's one arrow complete. Next, I wanted to create the highly requested cartoonish variant of his non-lethal arrows, which was the boxing glove arrow. Now, this one was quite popular in the cartoons, but once again, it was not designed to kill you. Just give you a really bad headache. So once again, I went back into Blender to model one from scratch, and I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the way of the print, some misprint happened, and then it just gave the model a complete aneurysm. But it somehow managed to fix itself. So when I tested it the first time, it broke apart, but this was easily rectified by just using some tape and some screws. And then it was good as new, because remember guys, we're looking for the ab solution. So now that was complete, it was time to test how well this thing works.
Next, we're gonna try the most cartoon arrow I have. It is the highly requested boxing glove arrow. This arrow has you feel the might of 13 black cubes punching you all at the same time. I think I made a ricochet arrow somehow. Dude, and yeah, bro, it low-key cracked my glove, but if that was a real person, dude, that's actually crazy.
So yeah, this thing was absolutely insane, and it did end up cracking just a little, but I can imagine if there was a person on the other end of that arrow, they would most definitely be put to sleep. But I want you guys to comment down below, do you think the first two arrows were actually non-lethal? Let me know. Okay, so now that we got the non-lethal slash fun arrows out of the way, it's time to move up to the crazier arrows. So next up, I wanted to try to make a smoke arrow. Now this arrow would be designed to fill a room with smoke by using a very specialized smoke mixture. Now we here are not foreign to making smoke pellets and whatnot, so I thought this would be pretty easy. I should advise against trying any of what you're about to see next at home, because while this stuff seems cool, it can be very dangerous. And the only reason I'm able to get away with it is because one, I'm a trained amateur, and two, I seem to have like insane plot armor. So don't do it, because I'm about to show you an example of when things do go wrong. Now usually there is a certain way of making the smoke pellets, and I read somewhere that using mineral oil slash paraffin wax is good to make the smoke a lot denser. So I decided to use the mineral oil, and because the usual process requires cooking, I foolishly thought maybe I could just replace the wax with the oil and throw that into the pot. Which honestly, looking back at it, might not have been my highest IQ moment, but hey, why do we fall, Bruce? And then after like 5 minutes, the stove was set to maximum heat, and this thing started boiling violently. And then I had a weird Speed Force moment where I was like, hey, yo, can't oil like catch fire at a certain temperature? And so then I quickly grabbed the pot, I ran it outside, and just as I was leaving, the smoke compound literally ignited and caught fire in my hand. So I'm sitting here like Hulk from Endgame with the Infinity Stones trying to like put this out and contain it, and luckily managed to get the fire extinguisher and put it out before anything went bad. Now everything else was fine except for the fact that my house looked like the Cloudburst from Arkham Knight, and also I completely burnt and melted off my entire left side. So I'm out here looking like Harvey Dent Two-Face, but bro, I knew I had to get this video out, so I locked in and just threw that healing factor into overdrive and just grew my entire skin back in like 10 minutes. But that was crazy because I'm only allowed like one healing factor per year, and so I can't use my next healing factor until 2026, which sucks. But anyway, coming to find out, the reason you put the wax in the pot is to melt it into a liquid form. But since mineral oil is already a liquid, you can actually just mix everything at room temperature in a bowl. So yeah, but hey, the more you know. What better be me than one of you ending up on Twitter? So anyway, I was blessed with a brand new day after burning off half my skin and got right back to work. So I tried doing my smoke bomb mixture that I was trying to do the day before by adding some potassium nitrate, powdered sugar, and then some mineral oil as like a binding agent to kind of like plasticize it and turn it into a moldable smoke bomb. So now it was time to test it. Now these things work really well, but it creates a crazy flame mainly because the mineral oil vapors are catching fire. But this variation is generally slow burning, which is what we want from one of them. So now I had to go back to modeling, and this time make a variant that could slip onto the arrow shaft. Now these toters are designed to have very small holes in them to disperse the smoke evenly. But while we waited on those, I wanted to go cook up the OG smoke compound. And to prevent myself from hotboxing in my house again, I went to go pick up one of those portable stoves from Walmart to move my operation outdoors, which I probably should have done from the beginning, but hey, dead men tell no tales, and clearly I'm here telling the tale. So after about an hour of doing some Breaking Bad stuff, it managed to cook properly, and now we have fast burning smoke. Now I forgot to mention, but in order to set off some of this stuff, we're going to need some black match equivalent fuses. Now, the process is pretty straightforward. Get some linen rope, put some of the potassium nitrate and sugar in a pot, put your rope in a pot, let all the stuff evaporate out, line it up on a cooking sheet, and stick it into an oven until it is burnt. Now, I don't know why this is, but I find that these fuses burn a lot better when they are just burnt to a crisp. And they tend to burn pretty reliably, too. So we stuffed one capsule with the mineral oil-based smoke mix. Now, let's see how well this performs. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Yeah, that arrow is going to mess up. Okay, yeah. Hey! Oh, that arrow is gorgeous. That arrow is gorgeous, yo.
The PLA is completely.
But like, look around though. Oh, yeah. Now, this stuff burns pretty well, and it gives a pretty decent smoke output. I mean, at the expense of your arrow being completely cooked. But next, let's make the Smoke Arrow V2 using rocket candy. Now this was crazy because thankfully it didn't explode. But I think that concludes the smoke arrow. So now we can move a level up to the fire arrow. Now fire arrows are pretty easy for me because this is the one arrow I've made multiple times and I'm not foreign to making at all in the slightest.
Pull up. Yo, where are you gonna shoot it at though? Where are you gonna shoot it?
In your window. There we go.
Pull up, yo shit. No! You better not shoot that to another yard. Shoot it, come on, quick. Oh my. Oh! Yo, wait. Oh yeah. Shoot that shit. Bruh. Oh no. Oh, the tape fell. Shoot it. Yo. Not over the house. Whoa. Yo, shit. Yo, wait.
Stop it. It's got the tire.
Yo.
Y'all are f***ing idiots. That's it, bro. That's enough of that. Yeah, I think that's it, bro.
Now to make this one, I was gonna need a very flammable material, parented with a very flammable liquid. So I was experimenting and found that cotton balls actually work perfectly for this arrow. So next, I needed to test different flammable liquids to test which one helps this to burn well. So I'd be between a dry cotton ball, an alcohol-laced cotton ball, a kerosene-laced cotton ball, and a gasoline-laced cotton ball. Now all of these burn extremely well. So much so that our feet kept constantly catching on fire.
Oh, dude, my foot was on fire for a second. What are you doing? Commit!
But the best one would have to be the gasoline-laced cotton ball. Because unlike alcohol and kerosene, gasoline catches fire through the vapors mixing with the oxygen. Which is why it takes very little work to create a gasoline fire. So I just needed to bunch a lot of these cotton balls on an arrow, lace it with gasoline, and then add a fuse. So let's see how good this fire arrow works. Yo. Oh, wait, no.
Try it again. I need it to stick in the wall. Oh.
Push it downwards. Do the start, parkour.
Hey, bro. Here, wipe the wall apart. Oh, we should, yeah, look around. We should, oh, my shaft. Yeah, we should put this out.
So the gasoline was definitely the best choice. Because unlike the gasoline arrow that would stay lit no matter what, the other arrows would generally go out the second it started traveling. Now, this is great, but what if we created a lava arrow? Let me explain. Now, obviously, we won't be able to create like an arrow that can just automatically turn the lava necessarily. But there is another compound that we can make that could burn up to 4,000 degrees and melt through things. Now, this is known as thermite. Now, you've probably seen thermite in games like Call of Duty, the thing that you throw at turrets to destroy them. And its real world use has been to essentially destroy faulty equipment or make parts for railroad tracks. But this compound is composed of a couple elements, those being red iron oxide and aluminum powder. And once it's done burning, it leaves behind some pretty cool molten aluminum remains. So I thought, what if I could take some of this stuff and like throw it at the end of an arrow and create like an incendiary arrow. So I got my elements and mixed them together to create some thermite. Now, the thing about thermite is that it actually has a really high ignition point, meaning that it takes something very hot to get it to go off. And basic fire simply just won't do. So people would usually use something like a magnesium strip to make it go off, but you don't actually need to do all that. Because if you just use a little bit of black powder, it starts off burning as a black powder, then quickly as a flash powder, and then sets off the rest of the thermite. And just for gits and shiggles, we'll just test to see how well it can burn through our assistant here, Demekus. Can he survive the 4,000 degree thermite challenge?
He's taking it like a real champ. Oh, wow. Oh, it's melting through the back of his skull. The back of his skull, he's gone. The back of his skull is gone. Demekus is dead. Oh, he's no more. Oh, he's dead. Reduced to atoms.
So yeah, bro is pretty much reduced to atoms. But I went on ahead and printed a very unique container for the Incendiary Arrow, which will have long slits on the side. So I ran an initial test to see how well this stuff would work, and this is what we got.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Alright. Thermite. That was hot. That was hot. Yeah, now the entire thing's melting away.
Okay, so the capsule worked great. But now it's time to test it on an actual arrow.
Yep.
Hey! Oh, dude, get it closer, get it closer. Oh, this is actually badass. But yeah, so yeah, the incendiary, pretty much, it just melts through stuff. So I'd imagine if there was like something beneath it. Now, the craziest part is how the arrow worked a lot better than the test trial one. The entire arrow ended up melting through and it just started dropping molten aluminum on the ground. But that arrow was pretty solid. All right, so that's another arrow off the list. Now, it's time for the two final arrows. Moving to the second to last arrow, the Flashbang Arrow. Now, this arrow isn't canonically meant to be lethal per se. As you know, actual flashbangs are meant to just disorient you by leaving you blind and deaf temporarily. And trust me, getting hit with a flashbang is not fun, but that's a story for a future video. All I'm gonna say is Call of Duty is not lying. Now, flash powder essentially requires an oxidizer and a powdered metal to make something called flash powder, which we spoke about in a previous video. Now, modern flashbangs use like ammonium nitrate and magnesium, which I don't know if you guys knew this, but fun fact, you could literally just get 15 pounds of like ammonium nitrate for like 50 bucks shipped straight to your door, which is low-key insane, but we know from the last smoke pellet video that putting some magnesium fire starter shadings inside of our smoke compounds adds sparks and makes it burn even brighter. But you don't have to use that, because you can use something like potassium perchlorate and aluminum powder instead. Now, potassium chloride is what is used in fireworks. It is a much stronger oxidizer than potassium nitrate. So unless you know what you're really doing, I'd advise sticking to potassium nitrate, if anything at all. But to quench your curiosity, I'll demonstrate different reactions using perchlorate versus nitrate. So these are the differences between how black powder burns using perchlorate and using nitrate. Now, the perchlorate-based BP burns with a super bright white flame, but also produces a lot of smoke. Now, the sugar and perchlorate one also produces the same bright white flame and also produces a little bit more smoke. Now, this is 10 grams of potassium nitrate mixed with aluminum powder. And this is half a gram of perchlorate-based flash powder.
Power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, and the more you mix, the more you risk facing. What? There's only one way to make a proper flashbang arrow, so...
Hello? Hello? 911.
Fuck it.
But again, it really doesn't matter which one of these we use, because if you understand the laws of basic thermodynamics, then you would know that a little confinement is all we need to make these things go crazy. So I just mixed up some flash powder and wrapped it in some aluminum foil to see how it reacts. just burns away. But then I decided to wrap it in some paper and some tape, and this is what we got. And this was great because it was loud, a really bright flash, and it was easy to attach to an arrow. So with that said,
We're gonna have some fun.
Bro, that was loud.
Damn.
Dude, I can't hear
anything.
bro, oh, dude.
Fuck.
Dude. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that any ops would definitely not be seeing or hearing anything for the next 3 hours or more. But now it's time to do the craziest arrow by far, the explosive arrow. Now, I have a confession to make. I didn't use C4. Like, okay, guys, I hope you know I was kidding at this point. I wasn't gonna make an arrow laced with C4 to make a kinetic upheaval arrow. Necessarily. But before we just straight up throw a nuke on the tip of an arrow, I needed to do some testing first.
We're gonna have some fun.
Okay. So the idea was try to throw one of these onto one of these. But in order to test this, I was gonna have to be very strategic and go to a super secret spot far, far away from civilization to test this. So after traveling through miles of woods, I think we're ready to test the energetic discharge arrow.
Okay.
Okay guys, bro, literally, the guys were literally about to go to jail for arson. They already called the cops. They're coming this way. They're on their way because we accidentally flattened like half a building. So guys, before I go to jail, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.
Now that was crazy, but don't you guys worry because everything you saw today was 100,000% CGI and AI generated. I mean, bro, just look at the SOAR AI watermark on these scenes. Like, come on, guys. But I'm still sure a good bit of you that don't believe this is AI generated is gonna be like, oh my god, bro, the FBI, the ATF, bro, they're watch list, they're gonna get you. Bro, ain't nobody worried about no FBI or no watch list. And even if they do decide to send the ATF after me, bro,
Send them all.
but I'm pretty sure as long as this video gets less than 1,000 views, we'll be fine. But again, if you guys did enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe with post notifications on so that you never miss an upload. Because I'm really trying to hit 50K before the end of the year, so do consider helping out. And if you do want to know more about some of this stuff, like I said, consider joining my Discord. I be dropping mad sauce there. And if you do enjoy what I do and want to see more of me, do consider following my Instagram, where I do drop behind the scenes updates. And also go subscribe to my other channel, because as a matter of fact, I'm going to be streaming there very soon. And also do consider becoming a channel member for only $2.99 a month. I mean, it's literally less than a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. So yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video.